Good morning, everybody. I already took a gander myself through all the charts. So I titled YouTube, looks like it's a beach day. Things aren't moving here. We'll see how it shapes up. All right, let's go through it anyway. Oh, there's not much moving here. Good morning. Good morning. 377. You can see it's right about where it closed. The cursor is always going across the other charts there. So a little movement yesterday. The initial gap down rallied into the gap fill area and rolled back over. And then, it held up, here, I guess that's around 3 o'clock or so. It looked like it was heading back down to the low of the day. And then, it just kind of dipped down and came up and just went nowhere. They're just kind of running in place. And that continues here this morning ahead of the holiday. So, historically, these, days before a holiday are bullish, and usually like Thanksgiving, we'll see, the ways that this is pulled back, after the move up and just, about a 50% pullback or so. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go up a bit. I don't think anything of significance, but, just forgetting about the holiday, if it could get through here, this 380 and change 381, it would open up the door into the void of the wide range bar. So, just keep an open minded about it. Set an alert up there, even if you're not, watching this. Set an alert. Let the computer watch it. Yesterday we talked about, potential for a measured move down to the gap fill. It could have went down there pre-market, but no, it came down there, and as you can see, after a half hour or so, rallied up into resistance. So, and notice the topping tail right here. This is something that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be doing a presentation at that 365 event in July. And so I'm going to be talking about failed patterns and shock patterns and bars and such like that. But, this was like what we refer to as a tell, meaning initially, that move off of the low and the topping tail was like, it just has to break these lows here. And that could have been a measured move to the downside into the gap fill, but it never broke. And so the fact that it did not follow through at all, to that rejection to move higher was a tell. So we look at these patterns and support and resistance and apply what I call bar by bar analysis and say, that bar tells me it should go down, even though, maybe it's a little extended short term because of the gap, and a wide range bar up. And it's like, it ain't going down. Right? So, just pointing that out. You can sign up. I'll drop the link in there if you're interested. Anyway, we're just here going nowhere this morning. Qs, come on there, 279-ish. Right in yesterday's candle body. You can see it on the daily chart there. Just going nowhere. And it'll be interesting, the weekly chart, they got the green bar ignored immediately. And look at the prior ones. Well, this went up a little bit and rolled over. This one went up and stalled. And this one immediately reversed to the downside. So we'll see if that follows through next week. Look at the diamonds. It doesn't trade too much pre-market, but same story there. Russell, nothing. 390, 388. Let me take a look. So let me look at the futures. Hit the little yesterday's low and bounced off of it. Look, one of the concepts that we follow, right, support and resistance, and it just helps to be systematic in our thought process, is we think something's going to go up, let's say, and then you say, well, why do we always wait to trigger above a prior bar's high, no matter what the time frame is? because that's our first reference point of support. So when we have like a pullback like this, it isn't a downtrend, and we think, well, could it go up like this day? Could it go up? Well, without looking at all the intraday charts and on the daily chart, say, well, does it even break above a prior bar's high on the daily time frame? And it couldn't. So, today, starting out as an inside day, looking to the upside or the downside, does it break below a prior bar's low, the first reference point of support, or above the prior bar's high, the first reference point of resistance? Can it get above one or the other? And right now, it's just an inside day going nowhere. Now, ideally, for thinking about measured moves, is there's an attempt to hold, which this is, it's too early in the day, or you get a green bar and then the next day takes out the low. So that's a good setup for a measured movement. Today we'll just see what today brings, but again, above yesterday's high or below yesterday's low. Which way might it go? Right. Silver's getting killed here. We'll get to that, but SPX. So again, looking at spiders, looking at the S&Ps, not much happening. And so McGraw helping out here with 38.70, which is above yesterday's high. That's good. And 38.70, inch that up there. I'm looking at the hourly chart, right where I have my little red line up there. That should be good. That should be good. Yep. And 36.90. 36.90. Okay. So the way I look at any credit spread is let the thing get moving in one direction, whatever the direction is that we want to sell the call spread or the put spread, let it move in that direction first. Now, will today move? Since it's not moving, I'm sure it's going to move one way or another, but we're always looking for that premium to increase. But those levels initially look good. Now, if it takes out this low, right, that opens up the door, to going down there. But what's our lines of defense? Well, let's just kind of say a weak line of defense is right there around 37.20. And then you got the gap fill there, which is right a little bit more. So always looking like what will the markets trade against that could save our butt, with this. But if it starts dropping, and there's always this this balancing act with options and credit spreads, like, hey, if it'll do this, I get more premium. Well, it might do it, but if it does it 2-3 hours from now, the premium that you thought might be there isn't even there to what it was. So that's the balancing act. But that's just what comes with the territory of that instrument. But I like those levels, going down there like that. You got plenty of lines of defense on either way. And now we've got some, excuse my French, asshole posting sex bullshit in. I hope you can hear me, moron. Wow. Is this how you get your jollies? What an idiot. Anyway, probably one of Dan's competitors on, I'm kidding, but Dan, you should see this crap that this moron's posting. Anyway, all right. That's what makes up the world, right? Keeps us entertained. So Q's down a little bit. Really nothing going on here. I really don't have much to talk about other than what I just did, inside day happening here. We'll see how the weekends and whether, we get some follow through down to these support levels, which is kind of wide, but Since you can see, I know this is kind of tight there, but I can stretch this out just to get a bigger view. And so let's do this and just pretend green makes a difference. So that already touched that. And so when we look to the left, as a reference point, and we have those two pivots there. So it's already been tested. So going through these lows right here should careen it right down into here somewhere, because in essence, I'm looking at this as an area, but in reality, from our prior discussions, that this is traded below and back above that neutralizes it. So it's the same area, but it's just to point out that there really is nothing to stop this from going down. There's the whole numbers 29, 28, and so on. But breaking down below here, it does open up the door to a pretty nasty move to the downside. And I think that would be fantastic, because, if it does go down there in that way, I think it's just going to set up a fantastic buying opportunity. So, we'll see, and as we always do. But so far today is shaping up as just a nothing situation. Now, Bitcoin, right? This is what could really send it careening down. Because look, if I own this Bitcoin from higher levels, I think I would be squirming in my seat. Well, I would be if I could read a chart. I don't know how many of these people can read a chart, but they are sitting there on the cliff here that is going to evaporate some people's financial well-being if this starts heading lower there, because this isn't much to hang your hat on right there, this little shelf, if that's what they're doing. But what we talked about earlier in the week was this was extended and it was tight, and it wasn't popping up. And now, and you can see today, as it popped up and took out the prior day's high, it got knocked right back down again, which suggests that those that were, obviously this is supply here, but those that are like, okay, 20,000 will hold, that's my line in the sand, they're starting to say, you know what, I better get out of this thing. But look, if this ends with a topping tail and of course breaks that low, 4th of July over, maybe, we come back to the markets and it's a Black Tuesday. Like everybody talks about Black Monday, but if this is trading 24 hours, if this is, continuing to go lower over the weekend, I think we know what's going to happen. Crude oil, just flip-flopping around, not much going on there. Silver getting smashed and now into the void. So, there's not much to stop it there. There's a pivot down there at 18-ish or so, but that's a big consolidation that's now failing miserably. That looks pretty bad. It looks bad. And how about all those commercials with those guys on TV? The guy that's I don't know, what is he like, father guy or something, the Asian guy with the glasses, buy silver, and the other guy buys silver, and the other guy, the actor, I buy gold. Where are those commercials? What are those clients doing? They're calling their brokers. And what do I do now? We've probably all been there in our early days. And here, part of the problem is the euro dropping, right? It hasn't taken out the prior low. We talked about this the other day. And the dollar, it's kind of, where is it, 28 and change, gapping up here above a red bar. So, yeah, not much going there for silver or gold. The dollar needs to roll over, and that ain't happening. So, transports, not much happen. We don't see much activity there in that ETF pre-market, but downtrend, red bar, green bar ignored, red bar. So We'll see if it's a beach day or whatever happens. But this thing is sitting with Bitcoin the way it is, and the other things that potentially this market could make that climactic move to the downside to set up what could be the buying opportunity of the year. To you, Dan.
Good morning. Happy Zero DTE Day. Yeah, I don't have that much today, unfortunately. We only have one open position in the weekly. GME covered half put spread, and we look totally fine. We got stop under 119 the back half. I guess we're just total mess here. So yeah, looks like it's gonna be a boring morning. I had MPW on my short list. Let me set an alarm, 1520. Couple earnings, not many. Let's just see what I have over here. Dash trading range. It's kind of it is. It's a double bottom with a new low plus. The problem is on this time frame, we don't have a potent reversal. We actually got a bear 180 reversal, but we got a buy setup with a bottom tail, and so over yesterday's high, that's a put spread idea. I was also looking at Disney to see if it can do a double bottom here also, but the problem is, see how that weekly is so much weaker than Dash weekly is a double bottom. And I remember this all started, I think, I forget if this was earnings, but one of these crashes started when, no, it was right here in April, this gap down when the CEO started fighting with DeSantis. That was that gap down day. Frig, ugly gap down, bull sandwich on the weekly, but can't do anything with this. It's down 4 bars and now a big gap down. Meta giving hiring reduction warnings, slowing economy. Micron came out last night, did the same. We said that was an ugly crack here. That was way a couple, $70. That was an ugly crack. AMD also looks lower. Restoration Warehouse yesterday gave profit warnings, slowing economy. Look at that devastation. And we went through a bunch when we were scanning yesterday, a bunch of retail stocks. And not KSS, like GPS. Look at that downtrend on the weekly. Just a picture of nasty, nasty selling. When you get a 45-degree declining 20 MA like that. But KSS is gapping down here today. They're calling off their buyout prospects. Shareholders have to be so friggin' upset with them. And, this is also a lesson if you are a shareholder. It gapped up here on those buyout rumors. If you were long the stock, nothing prevented you from hitting the bid and getting out on a gap up. And now it's gone from $47 to $29. And the CEO was on CNBC today. You could tell he knew he was in the hot seat. There's going to be pissed off people. Like, you did what? You think you're going to do better on your own without a buyout? and now they're getting punished for it. But I'm a contrarian if I have a pattern, and let's see what happens. The put premiums are going to skyrocket on the gap down, and it's already extended going into this gap down. I see cost over here, middle window. We had that as a put spread candidate yesterday. Zoom, another one, buy setup here on support after breaking out. Similar to what I said on DAT. Well, this one's more of an inverse head and shoulders, but it looked like a core long over last week's high. Target 160 to 180. But I'm going to keep an eye on this. So yesterday's high looks like another put spread idea. Team, another one. Look at all these W bottoms, but just like Greg showed with the spiders, not going very far. These W bottoms are also having trouble, but it broke out, and now I got a 50% pullback. So team, we're short puts on team and Zoom, but I'm gonna look to do one for next week. We have the July's. GME I mentioned. ACCD, I think at earnings, I don't see any great pattern there. These three EV companies reported some volume numbers. Now this is a buy setup on the daily, but typically we don't, the buy setups after climactic sell setups are not going to make a new high, but this is very bullish pre-market. So that is that's a beautiful day trade long candidate right now. 5-10 minute high, we'll play it by ear. NEO also came down a little harder from a 180, but pre-market gapping up here to yesterday or 2 days ago's high, and that looks good too. And then LI is a third one, and that one's lagging. See the difference just in the 15-minute charts? Look at all this resistance, whereas the other two are gapping over it. And TSM, I also warned about slowing business, still has a price void. Look at this. This is an M top, with those tails being the high end of the M. The news said something or other about rental car fees, and so I just pulled up Hertz and Car. I remember when this thing on earnings went to 550. I'm like, are you friggin' kidding me? A rental car company that's been in a coma? How could your fundamentals change that much? What a ridiculous rally. But now look at the weekly. It's a descending triangle breakdown with a price void. So that's on my short watch list on a bounce. Car. Yeah, we talked about. These were a couple sell setups, I think we found yesterday. Scanning TFX, IRTC, our gold, gold and retail. We're just full of sell setups. CNMD under yesterday's low. I'm gonna set an alarm at 95. Hertz. Well, that's 100% meaningless to me, McGraw, because it failed. Closing new low. Looks horrible. Remember this thing came out of bankruptcy? It looks like the Reddit boys got a hold of it here. Well, if you're in it, trail it. But, 3 bars down, far from the 20, you missed your ideal entry. Cooter looks lower, little bear flag here. Love breaking down, it's just, 4 bars on support, but look at that. A descending triangle breakdown on the weekly and a nasty downtrend. Another one of these are all shorts we found yesterday. I like this MPW the best. I got my alarm set. I'll put it in a window too. Agile. Oh, Agile we said buy over the high. So that'd be 21.92. Let me set an alarm. If that looks good. GME. I mentioned we're in a put spread, but over yesterday's high. It's in a trading range here. Yesterday's high, we can do another put spread. AMC. We stopped out at break even yesterday when the morning was looking dicey, but I did say in the green room that I thought the 1250 would be fine for today. And it obviously looks like it is. I'll set an alarm here at 1380 for another put spread. Oh, I already had an alarm at 1390. So I'll just lower it a dime. RTX, someone in the green room mentioned yesterday, and I said I would love to get a 1, 2, 3, which is an inside bar that stays in the upper third. And then Tuesday, because Monday's July 4th, Tuesday we buy over the high of the 2 bars. There's a 1, 2, 3. PG, kind of a small little bull flag there. Look, that's breaking out. That could be a day trade. 5-minute high, day trade. Stop would be under this 143 pivot. Estee Lauder, which I'm showing relative strength to the retail sector, which was just been decimated. So 100% retracement, 50% buy setup. Those are our retracement concepts. I'm going to set an alarm here. 257. MPW alarm. We can short 5-minute low on this.